everyone, happy Thirsty Thursday. I've got my Coke and rum without any ice cubes, so it's honestly kind of lame. But I do have a drink. As you may have noticed, Paula is not next to me. She's out for the rest of the week, but she'll hopefully be back next Thursday, so looking forward to that. This week we're going to be talking about our soda making kits. So anyone that makes beer, wine, mead, kombucha, anything like that, soda is a really easy, simple process compared to all those types of beverages. So it's a great thing, like if you're just looking for something for your kids, or maybe there's a family member that doesn't necessarily drink, you can still include them in the brewing process in some sort of way, but just through making soda instead of one of the other beverages. So, I did want to quickly mention that last week we weren't on our live on Instagram. We actually had to do it on Facebook Live. And I just wanted to apologize for anyone that was wondering where we went. We actually had a bit of an issue getting into our account. There's just some Instagram issues in general. But we're really happy to be back. And I see some of you are tuning in. Someone says, or you could use it in mixers. Yeah, definitely. You could definitely use it in mixers. That would be cool. So I'm actually going to be making soda today. I'll show you guys the process. It's pretty simple. But all of our soda making items right now are 10% off if you use the code SODA10 at checkout. And that's, tomorrow is the last day of that sale, or Saturday is the last day of that sale. So now through Saturday, use the code SODA10 at checkout, and you'll be able to get 10% off. That goes for equipment and ingredients. So hello to everyone joining. For those of you that are just tuning in, yes, I don't have Paula with me today, but I'm going to be making soda for everyone. We usually say something about the drink that we're drinking. This is just Coke and rum without ice cubes. Not much to be said. I didn't think about the ice. But I guess first I can talk a little bit about what all comes in our soda making equipment kit. So first off, you're going to get this 6.5 gallon bottling bucket. Notice how it has a hole right here, and that hole is actually where the Italian spigot goes. Someone says, "What up, yo? What up?" So this is the Italian spigot, and basically it untwists here. I can get it. And it has these little things that seal on the inside and the outside. So when I was actually making this earlier, I made a fatal mistake. So learn from my mistake. Before you actually put soda into this bucket, you're gonna want to do a leak test. So you're gonna want to put your Italian spigot in right here, and it just kind of sits in there, right? And then you take this other part and you put it on the inside, and you're gonna want to screw it on as tight as you can to get that nice seal. Now what you're gonna want to do after you do that is actually fill this up with water, just plain water, and maybe have a towel or some other device handy, just in case this actually leaks. That way you don't have red soda all over your apartment floor, like I did, or whatever color soda you're making. So 6.5 gallon bottling bucket with the Italian spigot comes in our equipment kit. And then you also get this 18-inch stirring spoon. And you'll also get a laboratory grade thermometer for temperature taking. And then the instructions on how to do everything. Now that kit is going to be $19.99, and it'll have everything that you need in order to make 5 gallons of soda, which is a lot of soda. That's why today I'm actually going to be using, I'm just going to be using this smaller bucket here. It doesn't actually come with the kit, but this is just a smaller bucket. I'm going to be fifthing the batch, I guess. I don't really know how you say that, but I'm going to be taking the batch and making 1 gallon instead of 5 gallons. So I'm just going to be using this bucket, and then I'm actually going to be using an auto siphon instead of the spigot to put it into the bottles. The auto siphon doesn't come in the kit, but it is something available for purchase on our website. So I love auto siphons. I'm kind of excited to use it. And then as far as ingredients goes, it's going to be really simple, right? So first off, you're just going to have cane sugar. So for a 5-gallon batch, you are going to use 5 pounds. But since I'm only making 1 gallon today, I'm only using 1 pound because that's how math works. I also am having the flavoring. So we have 2 varieties of flavoring, or 2 brands, I guess. The first brand is going to be Gnome, and it'll come in little packages like this. And then the second brand is Brewer's Best. So if you brew, you're familiar with Brewer's Best. It comes in a bottle like this. And today I'm going to be making dark vanilla cream soda, thanks to everyone that voted in the poll on what type of soda that you wanted to see. I actually was super excited because cream soda is one of my favorite sodas. So I was kind of like crossing my fingers that you guys would pick that, and you did. So I didn't have to cheat and say that that's what we were making anyways. So as far as the ingredients goes, we actually have put together, it's called soda making packets. So you can choose out of 14 different flavors, and it'll give you the sugar, the flavoring, and then I didn't talk about it yet, but the yeast. So it comes with Premier Blanc yeast. And those are the 3 items. Let's see, did I cut out there for a sec? Alright, sorry if I cut out there for a sec, but I was just talking about the flavorings. So we have sarsaparilla, root beer. We have root beer in both the Gnome and the Brewer's Best. Spicy ginger beer. Autumn red birch beer, which if you've been on our YouTube channel, that's the one that I made on YouTube. And it was really good. It kind of tasted like a mix between peppermint and like cherry. Like, it was weird. It sounds bad. Like, trust me, if someone came up to me and was like, yeah, try like a peppermint cherry soda, I'd be like, okay. But it was really good. And then cola and ginger ale are the last 2 flavors. So yeah, so plenty of different flavors to choose from. And what I did today before I set up the camera and everything is I actually just made sure that I clean and sanitize everything. We talked about it before on the live, but we carry products to clean and sanitize. Your cleaner is going to be, in the most basic form, something like Easy Clean, which is $1.99 for 4 ounces of that. And then we also have things like PPW, which is another cleaner. And then if you want to go so far as to use like Star San or something like that to sanitize, it's always a good idea to be safe rather than sorry in the cleaning and sanitizing process. So already clean and sanitized the bucket and the spoon that I'm going to be using today. So essentially the first step is we're just going to heat water and mix the sugar with that. So if I was doing this at home, I would probably boil the water, but the water doesn't actually technically need to be boiled. It just needs to be hot enough that it'll melt with the sugar really well. So this sink behind me gets the water really, really hot. So what I'm going to do is fill up half a gallon of the 1 gallon that I'm making of hot water, and then I'm going to slowly dissolve the sugar into that. Alright, so that's nice and hot. Actually, I'm going to take the temperature just to see how hot that is. Okay, so that is All right, we're up past 120, 130, which doesn't really matter too much, but it's pretty hot. Hot enough to dissolve sugar, and that's all that really matters. And then I'm going to just cut this open. Dump that on in. What's you guys' favorite flavor of soda for anyone that's watching? I'd be curious to know. I don't really drink a lot of it. Well, that's a lie. I've started drinking more of it. Started drinking more in general because of this place. So for anyone that's joining, we're making soda today, and right now I just mixed hot water with sugar and I'm dissolving it. I never felt good about drinking soda, right? Like it's not something you feel good about, but when I made it, I was like, wow, there's a lot of sugar in here. I actually feel worse. You know, it's all good. Alright, so you guys probably can't see very well on camera, but that is nice and dissolved. So now the next step is to add the flavoring. So normally for a 5-gallon batch you would add this entire thing. There's 4 ounces of flavoring, but because I'm doing a 1-gallon batch, I'm barely going to put any of this in there because I'm very afraid that it would be very overpowering. So I'm just gonna kind of guesstimate. You're supposed to do that when you're brewing, right? Someone asked, what am I brewing up? I'm making a dark vanilla cream soda today, which I'm actually super excited about. Okay, let's see. About a fifth, so it'd be about 1 ounce. Okay. Yeah, that's probably good. It's probably more than good. Ooh. That smells really good. When you guys were kids, this can't just be me, but when you were kids, did you ever like taste the vanilla bottle, like thinking that it would taste like vanilla, but then it doesn't taste like vanilla at all? It tastes horrible. I have a habit of just kind of like stealing food or tasting things that aren't supposed to be tasted. Like for example, one time my dad got sandwiches for all of us, and I was like mad because he didn't get pickles on my sandwich, right? And I was like, what the heck, Dad, I want pickles. So I like stole one off his sandwich. Little to my knowledge, it was a jalapeno. So I was like sitting there with a gallon of milk for literally like, I don't even know, and this is when I was like 8. So I was just an 8-year-old sitting there, like my eyes watering, like so upset that this wasn't a pickle. And my dad's just like, well, that's what you get for stealing stuff off other people's plates. Alright, so now we've got our sugar, we've got our flavoring, and we've got our water. The next step is going to be to add the yeast. So what you do is you actually just take a little bit of warm water. Now it's really important that this is warm. And when I say warm, I mean somewhere between like 70 to 80-ish degrees. Not anything higher than like 90 or 100 for sure. Just warm, not hot. Because this is going to be what we're adding the yeast to. And if yeast gets too hot, then it's going to be killed. And if it gets too cold, it's not gonna like work properly. So that's what this thermometer is for, and I actually got this water hot earlier, and now I just kind of like let it cool a bit, so we'll see where it's at. And this is 80 degrees Fahrenheit, so that looks like it's gonna be good. So then we'll just put our yeast in there. Here, we still want to do this as well. I'm only going to use about half this yeast too because, like I said, this is for a 5-gallon batch. Last time I made this, I don't think I used quite enough yeast, and I did the same type of a thing where I like cut a full batch into fists. So I'm gonna use about half of it, just because I didn't feel like it was as carbonated as I wanted it to be last time I made it. So hopefully it'll be a little bit more carbonated this time. And you just go ahead and give that nice stir. Suppose I could stir with a spoon instead of a thermometer. That might work better. Hey, Best Made Mead. How's it going? Oh, and Hang 'em High hops. If you guys haven't heard of Hang 'em High hops, we just kind of got them in stock recently. And there's, I believe, 6 or 7 different varieties of hops. They're out of Michigan. So I know that brewers always like experimenting with different types of hops. So you should check them out, Hang 'em High hops. They're on our website. So, and then you're gonna just take the yeast water combination that you just made, and you're just gonna let it sit for. You're supposed to let it sit for 5 minutes. So we'll just kind of let that sit. And while we let that sit, I'm going to quickly talk about additional things that you could possibly do with your soda. So additional things that you could do is you could obviously make like a mixed drink. So you could, take wine and mix it with different club sodas, different flavored sodas like vanilla cream soda, make that type of a drink. You can make like a boozy type of milkshake where it's like boozy soda milkshake. I've seen that before, and you can get really fancy with it. And I had this really good one time, and it was at a restaurant, and it was like I think it was actually like vanilla cream soda of some sort, but they mixed it with bourbon, and then they put a chocolate drizzle over the top, and it was amazing. They put like all sorts of like candies and stuff to garnish the top. So you can get really fancy with it, or you can get really simple with it if you're lazy like me. But I remember I felt really bad because when I was at that restaurant, I watched the waitress bring out all of our sodas on a tray, like all of our milkshake sodas. She brought them out, and as she's walking out with all of our milkshake soda things on a tray, she just slips. Like, she just straight up slips and drops all of our milkshake sodas all over the floor. And I literally felt so bad. I told my husband, I'm like, we're tipping her a lot. Because they had to go and remake all of them and then bring them back out to us. And we weren't in a hurry or anything, so we were just like kind of laughing about it. But I felt really bad because it was really busy there. But then, so you can do something like that. And then another thing that you can do that's kind of fun is, I don't know if you've ever seen those machines when you go to, normally they're in like fast food restaurants, and you can like choose Coke, right? But then when you choose Coke, there's other different flavoring options. So that like you can have orange Coke, or you can have cherry Coke, or vanilla Coke, and you can push all those different buttons, right? And if you're like me, you just mix them all together, and it's a bunch of like a flavor conundrum. But if you're like any other normal, sane person, you choose your flavor, and that's kind of what you can do with your own soda making. So you can actually get the Brewer's Best natural flavorings, and I brought out 2 examples that I thought would go really well with vanilla cream soda. So we have butterscotch, and then we have maple, and that actually sounded delicious to me. And now I'm not actually going to put these in there because I am just making a 1-gallon batch. I don't want to waste a whole bottle of flavoring on it, but that's definitely an option that you could try. And we have a whole line of flavors. I mean, we have butterscotch, we have maple, we have toasted marshmallow, like those are kind of the sweeter side of things, right? But then we also have like fruity ones like cherry, lime. We even have a passion fruit one, I believe. I'm not sure how many we have, but it's a safe bet that we have over 30 different flavors. I know that for sure. So yeah, you could kind of experiment, and you could always do something where you split a batch. So like say you make like our Coca-Cola flavor, right? Then you could do one that's orange Coke, or one that's cherry Coke, and kind of like one that's just regular, kind of split it up that way for different people's preferences. And those Brewer's Best natural flavorings are only $7.99, and they are 4 ounces, so they're good for an entire 5-gallon batch. So I think that this is sat for a sufficient amount of time. I was kind of trying to judge how long I tell stories. Like, was that a 5-minute story? I don't know, because I ramble so much. But yeah, we'll go ahead and add the yeast. Oh, another thing that I wanted to mention too is before you add the yeast, I checked the temperature of this, and it had sat for a long enough time that it didn't kill the yeast. So you don't, like I said, you don't want it to be over 90. So I'll just go ahead and show you guys. So yeah, it's right around like an 89, 90 degrees range. So that's really important that you do that before you put that yeast in, otherwise it'll just kill it right away. And then what you can do is go ahead and add the other half of your cool water. So you can also add the cool water beforehand to cool it down. Yeah. Yeah. So then you're just gonna give that a stir. Make sure everything's mixed together. Man, I'm really missing Paula. She really helps me out. Paula, if you're watching, am I doing a good job? Just kidding, I'm doing a great job, obviously. Okay, so then you take this mixture. Now normally it would be in this bucket, and you would just take the spigot, you'd open that up, and then, the soda come out, you put it in a bottle. But because I'm doing it in this smaller bucket, and I don't actually have a spigot on this, I'm just gonna use an auto siphon. And there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either keg, so if you have like all the kegging equipment, or if you want to get kegging equipment, feel free to do that. But then the other way you can do it is you can bottle. Now, you don't have to put any priming sugar or like priming sugar tablets or anything in here, because there's already sugar in the actual thing. There's lots of it. So what you can do is you can actually just recycle old soda bottles, or we also sell these plastic PET bottles. Now this is 64 ounces, so it should be just perfect for the 1-gallon batch that I made. And these 64-ounce bottles that we have are $4.99, and then they're gonna not come with this polyseal cap. It's a 38mm polyseal cap. I think this is like 99 cents. But make sure you buy this separately because they don't come together. So that's important, because you want a plastic bottle that seals tightly so that it can carbonate properly. Now, it is important that you use plastic instead of glass, because if it's carbonating, you can actually like burst the bottle if you do it improperly, and then you're A, gonna have glass everywhere, and B, have soda everywhere. And so the other thing with plastic is you're gonna want to test to see how carbonated these are, right? So the other thing you can do with plastic is you can kind of give it a squeeze on the sides. I did a really bad job of showing that, but you can kind of give it a squeeze on the sides to test how firm the bottle is. So what I'm going to do is actually put the soda into this bottle, and then put the lid on and let it sit out in room temperature for 2 to 3 days. So you do that, and every day you kind of give it a test, see how, yeah, someone says bottle bombs. If you haven't had it happen, you haven't lived. Yep. So you kind of give it a squeeze to see how firm it is, and as soon as it's like pretty taut, That's how you know that it's carbonated enough. So at that point, what you would do is you would go ahead and put it in the fridge, because that's going to stop the carbonation process, and then also soda just tastes better when it's cold, as seen by my clear no ice Coke and Rom. So enough talking. Let's actually do this. So if you haven't used an auto siphon, really easy. We also sell auto siphons. You just, oh, it is really easy. I'll make it look hard, I'm sure. So you just insert the tubing into here. Then you're gonna wanna get this lower than whatever you're doing it from. There we go. And then you just insert this in here. And you pump twice. This auto siphon is not actually working. Cool. Let's see. One moment. Technical difficulties. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure quite what was wrong. It just wasn't acting like it was gonna pump. I think it'll work now. There we go. Okay. So we'll just wait for that to do its thing. And then you want to keep kind of tilting the bucket so it keeps filling it. I'm also trying to make sure that I don't overfill it. So you want to leave a little bit of headspace in the top so that it has a little bit of room. Let's see how we're doing here. Seems like we're doing okay. So I'll go ahead and put the rest of this in. It should be just perfect if my measuring skills are correct. Alright. That's probably about good. Alright. So we have got our gallon of soda here, which is a ridiculous amount of soda. Or half gallon, my bad. I've been saying gallon this entire time. Right? Let's see. 8 cups, 64 ounces, yeah. So we've got that, and then we're just gonna go ahead and put it somewhere at room temperature. And then in 2 to 3 days, we'll go ahead and throw it in the fridge, and I'll try and make sure to do an update, throw something on our story about how this turned out and give it like a taste test and everything. For those of you that weren't here at the very start, we do have all of our soda making things on sale right now for 10% off. So if you use code SODA10 at checkout, you'll get that 10% off now through Saturday. So that's a nice little perk. And if you do have like your own brewing equipment and stuff, as you can see, you know, you just need a bucket. You don't even need a bucket with a lid. You just need a bucket and a spoon, really, and then the ingredients, and you're all set to go. So you can just pick up a soda making ingredient kit, and you'll be on your way to making your own soda in no time. Let's see. Am I missing anything? I don't think I am. I'm a very forgetful person, so gotta write everything down. But I hope you guys all have a great rest of your week. I know that I really enjoy these Thirsty Thursdays. When Paula was like, hey, I'm not going to be there this week, I was like, don't you worry, we will still be doing Thirsty Thursday. And I hope that it gives you guys a little bit of an audio break from whatever you're doing, if you're at work or school or just hanging out. I hope that you guys do enjoy. If you have any ideas of what we can do on future Thirsty Thursdays, or even future tutorial videos that you want to see, like just videos that we throw up on our YouTube channel or as an Instagram post, please let us know, because I'm in charge of doing all that, and there's only so many good ideas in this brain. Like, I have a lot of good ideas, trust me. I think you guys know that my ideas are probably really great, but it's always good to hear from everyone else. Someone says, good work, let's get a mead going. So, before I go, I'll tell the story of our mead. Yeah, I failed at that. So what I did is we did everything correct, and then I forgot how cold it is in the store here. It's like really cold. Like, this is the first day where I can wear a t-shirt and not just like scream because I'm so cold in here. And anyways, I left our mead out, and mead doesn't like being in cold places. It doesn't work properly. So yeah, I kind of ruined that, but hopefully we will get another one going soon, because I really liked mead when I tried it that one day. If you go a few lives back, probably more than a few, but if you go a few lives back, we did a taste test and the first section of that mead making, and we did everything correctly in that section. So if you want to see like the first day process of how to put together a mead, go check that out, and then also you'll hear my opinion on the black pepper mango mead that we tried. But anyways, hope everyone is having a good Thursday and a good rest of your week, and I'll see you next Thursday.